Hello dear friend, and welcome to On This Day SMR with me, Edward Hertz, where we take a look back through history at events which took place on this day. The rain is gently pittering and pattering away on the window, and the fire is crackling away nicely in the hearth. So put your headphones on, sit back, relax, and let me take you on a journey back through time. Today is Friday, the 9th of February 2024, and we have 53 events to cover today, going all the way back to the year 474. Starting with the most recent event, which happened 3 years ago in 2021, the second impeachment trial of Donald Trump begins. 4 years ago in 2021, Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele has the army soldiers enter the Legislative Assembly to assist in pushing for the approval for a better government security plan, causing a brief political crisis. Six years ago in 2018, in the Winter Olympics, the opening ceremonies performed in Pyeongchang County in South Korea. 8 years ago in 2016, two passenger trains collide in the German town of Bad Aibling in the state of Bavaria. 12 people die and 85 others are injured. 23 years ago in 2001, the Ehime Maru and USS Greenville collision takes place, killing 9 of the 35 people on board the Japanese fishery high school training ship Ehime Maru, leaving the USS Greenville SSN 772 with $2 million in repairs at Pearl Harbor. 28 years ago in 1996, the Provisional Irish Republican Army declares the end to its 18-month ceasefire and explodes a large bomb in London's Canary Wharf, killing 2 people. In the same year, copernicium is discovered by Sigurd Hoffmann, Viktor Ninov et al. 33 years ago in 1991, the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Voters in Lithuania vote for independence from the Soviet Union. 38 years ago in 1986, Halley's Comet last appeared in the inner solar system. 42 years ago in 1982, Japan Airlines Flight 350 crashes near Haneda Airport in an attempted pilot mass murder-suicide, killing 24 of the 174 people on board. 46 years ago in 1978, the Budd Company unveils its first SPF 2000 self-propelled railcar in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 48 years ago in 1976, Aeroflot Flight 3739, a Tupolev Tu-104, crashes during takeoff from Irkutsk Airport, killing 24. "49 years ago in 1975, the Soyuz 17 Soviet spacecraft returns to Earth. 53 years ago in 1971, the 6.5 to 6.7 magnitude Sylmar earthquake hits the greater Los Angeles area with a maximum Mercalli intensity of 11, which is extreme, killing 64 and injuring 2,000. In the same year, Satchel Paige becomes the first Negro League player to be voted into the USA's Baseball Hall of Fame. Also in the same year, in the Apollo program, Apollo 14 returns to Earth after the third human moon landing. 59 years ago in 1965 in the Vietnam War, the United States Marine Corps sent an MIM-23 Hawk missile battalion to South Vietnam, the first American troops in country without an official advisory or training mission. "60 years ago in 1964, the Beatles make their first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show, performing before a record-setting audience of 73 million viewers across the United States. 63 years ago in 1961, the Beatles at the Cavern Club. Lunchtime, the Beatles perform under this name at the Cavern Club for the first time following their return to Liverpool from Hamburg. 65 years ago in 1959, the R-7 Semyorka, the first intercontinental ballistic missile, becomes operational at Plesetsk, USSR. 73 years ago in 1951, in the Korean War, the two-day Gyeochang massacre begins as a battalion of the 11th Division of the South Korean Army kills 719 unarmed citizens in Gyeochang in the South Gyeongsang district of South Korea. "74 years ago in 1950, the Second Red Scare. US Senator Joseph McCarthy accuses the United States Department of State of being filled with communists. 79 years ago in 1945 in World War II, in the Battle of the Atlantic, HMS Ventura sinks U-864 off the coast of Fedje, Norway, in a rare instance of submarine-to-submarine combat. In the same year, and also in World War II, a force of Allied aircraft unsuccessfully attack a German destroyer in Fordfjorden, Norway. "81 years ago in 1943, again in World War II and the Pacific War, Allied authorities declare Guadalcanal secure after Imperial Japan evacuates its remaining forces from the island, ending the Battle of Guadalcanal. 82 years ago in 1942, year-round daylight saving time, aka wartime, is reinstated in the United States as a wartime measure to help conserve energy resources. 83 years ago in 1941, in World War II again, the bombing of Genoa, the Cathedral of San Lorenzo in Genoa, Italy, is struck by a bomb which fails to detonate. 90 years ago in 1934, the Balkan Entente is formed between Greece, Romania, Yugoslavia and Turkey. 92 years ago in 1932, prohibition law is abolished in Finland after a national referendum, where 70% voted for a repeal of the law. 95 years ago in 1929, members of the Vietnam Coc Dan Dang assassinate the labour recruiter Bazin, prompting a crackdown by French colonial authorities. 102 years ago in 1922, Brazil becomes a member of the Berne Convention Copyright Treaty. 104 years ago in 1920, under the terms of the Svalbard Treaty, international diplomacy recognises Norwegian sovereignty over Arctic archipelago Svalbard and designates it as demilitarised. 111 years ago in 1913, a group of meteors is visible across much of the eastern seaboard of the Americas, leading astronomers to conclude the source had been a small, short-lived natural satellite of the Earth. "117 years ago in 1907, the Mud March is the first large procession organised by the National Union of Women's Suffrage Societies, or NUWSS. 120 years ago in 1904, in the Russo-Japanese War, Battle of Port Arthur concludes. 124 years ago in the year 1900, the Davis Cup competition is established. 129 years ago in 1895, William G. Morgan creates a game called Mintonette, which soon comes to be referred to as volleyball. 131 years ago in 1893, Verdi's last opera, Falstaff, premieres at La Scala, Milan. 135 years ago in 1889, US President Grover Cleveland signed a bill elevating the United States Department of Agriculture to a cabinet-level agency. 154 years ago in 1870, US President Ulysses S. Grant signs a joint resolution of Congress establishing the US Weather Bureau. 163 years ago in 1861, in the American Civil War, Jefferson Davis is elected the Provisional President of the Confederate States of America by the Provisional Confederate Congress at Montgomery, Alabama. 175 years ago in 1849, the new Roman Republic is declared. 199 years ago in 1825, after no candidate receives a majority of electoral votes in the US presidential election of 1824, the United States House of Representatives elects John Quincy Adams as 6th President of the United States in a contingent election. "202 years ago in 1822, Haiti attacks the newly established Dominican Republic on the other side of the island of Hispaniola. 246 years ago in 1778, Rhode Island becomes the fourth US state to ratify the Articles of Confederation. 249 years ago in 1775, in the American Revolutionary War, the British Parliament declares Massachusetts in rebellion. 370 years ago in 1654, the capture of Fort Roca takes place during the Anglo-Spanish War. 403 years ago in 1621, Gregory XV becomes Pope, the last Pope elected by acclamation. 469 years ago in 1555, Bishop of Gloucester John Hooper is burned at the stake. 485 years ago in 1539, the first recorded race is held on Chester Racecourse, known as the Rodee. 926 years ago in 1098, the First Crusade army led by Bohemond of Taranto wins a major battle against the Seljuk emir Ridwan of Aleppo during the siege of Antioch. 1,021 years ago in the year 1003, Boleslaus III is restored to authority with armed support from Boleslaw I, the Brave of Poland. "1,550 years ago, in the year 474, Zeno is crowned as co-emperor of the Byzantine Empire." So that is all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you found our little trip back through history both relaxing and informative. If you did indeed like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and also consider leaving a comment below. All feedback is very much welcome. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. It will really help the channel grow and will ensure that you are notified of future videos. Be sure to turn on notifications so that you are notified of future videos as soon as they are posted. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time.